Thank you to those who tuned in and watched my live IG on this topic. Here's just a recap plus some things I forgot to mention. This video will address a question that I've seen repeatedly. How do I keep my dip liquid bottles from gluing shut? Well, first thing we need to recognize is that these aren't polish, they're not gel, they are actually glues. They're a glue resin, and they are ethyl cyanoacrylate, which is the main ingredient in super glue and also the main ingredient in these as well. And it doesn't matter if you're using triple vitamins or Revel Nail or even Dipalicious here. They're all pretty much the same. They all have that base component the same, and the it's their glue at the heart of it. Um, so it's pretty much one of the biggest things I could stress to remember. I'm just going to grab this brush softener here and show you a couple things. Um, Inside most of your better bottles, you're going to find this little plastic ring on the inside. That's the wiper, and it serves a lot of purpose. It helps keeps the product inside, and it reduces waste. So it's probably its biggest thing, um, but it's very important. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you're dipping your brush in to pull product out, that you wipe on the inside and you don't do what I'm doing right now, which is brushing it along the top. You can see how shiny it is. Um, you're just going to gunk the top up. You're just going to gunk the top up. You're just going to gunk the threads up. So you just want to make sure that you're wiping on the inside of the bottle. And you don't want to do this. You don't want to drag it across the top like that. You want to make sure you put it inside and wipe it across the inside. Because what that wiper will do is it will return your unused product back into the bottle. So a couple of other things, when we're using our product, we don't want to lay it down. We don't want to set it down on its side. You don't want to set it on its cap. You want to use it and you want to get it back in the bottle when you're done with it as soon as possible. Because what happens is we're exposing our product to air and we're going to pull it. When you set it on its cap, you're pulling it into the lid. Same with lying on its side. The same thing happens. So you want to get it into the bottle as soon as you're done with that nail. Put it right back in. You don't even need to tighten it up. Just, get it back into the bottle. Work on the nail, get it back in the bottle. All right. Next thing, I'm going to grab this bottle of OPI polish here and for my next demonstration. Um, And there's a reason why we want to get it back in the bottle because it's glue. Glue, the air needs air to cure. So every time we leave it out, what's going to happen is it's going to make your brush, it's going to harden your brush. It's going to make your product stringy. So that's the other reasons why you want to get it back in the brush as soon as possible. Okay, on to this. Our brush here, we're going to pretend that this is base, and we've already seen that it's already pooling product is pooling inside that cap. So that is, I'm going to get a little more product on my brush here just for the effect, but you can see it's already kind of oozing down in there. And we're going to pretend that we've just done our nail and we're just setting our thing down, or our cap down there. And we're cleaning up our cuticle. Maybe we're grabbing a drink or maybe we check the nail out. Maybe we get a text or something. But meanwhile, our brush is getting hard, our product is getting stringy because we're exposing it to air. So back to our bottle right here. All right, I've cleaned off the mouth of the bottle. That's all nice and dry. And we're going to put our lid back on. Oh, crap. Let me wipe that off. And it's okay if you do get product on the lids. Take a lint-free wipe, wipe them off. It's not that big of a deal. You just don't want it to stay there and you don't want to put the lid back on with it on there. So, all right, now we're just going to tighten this down. And I'm not, as you can see, I'm not over tightening this. I'm just making it nice and secure. You don't want to need to go to the garage to get your bottle open. You don't need to use a wrench. You shouldn't have to use a wrench to get your bottles open. That's just asking for trouble. All right, let's pull this out and see what we have here. You can see the product is already gunked up around the top. It's on the threads, it's on the mouth, and there's our kiss of death. If this was glue, we'd be well on our way to gluing this bottle shut and ruining our product and wasting our money. So it's kind of all into one here. Let's wipe this off and we're going to do this one more time. Just because we can and because we're here. Why not? So we've been letting our product sit and it's been oozing down into that cap. Let's just go ahead and stick that back down in there. And tighten it up. And there you go. Yep. If you do happen to get product on the top, it's not the end of the world. It happens. Just go ahead and take your wipe and clean it up, but be sure that you keep a hold of that lid. Just going to go ahead and sum all of this up for everybody. Use the product, then get it back. Get that brush back into the bottle ASAP, and wipe on the inside of the bottle. Very important. So here's a couple of old school tips. Brush off the excess powder between your layers. Avoid cross-contamination of your liquids by making sure that you wipe the brush off before you return it back into the bottle. We already talked about cleaning it up. And then, of course, store them upright away from heat and sun. If you do happen to have one that is seized, just use a rubber jar grip or a silicone mat to encourage a bottle to open. Leave those wrenches out in the garage because glass bottles can break and they will leak glue everywhere. Be careful around the activator with top coat and base. It hardens everything and it has a thirst for brushes. Also, don't boil, microwave, or heat dip liquids ever because they are flammable. And if you forget everything, remember these 3 words. This is glue. I hope you found this information useful and it helps you out. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for stopping by and keep rocking those mammies.